So let's see how we use GPTpanda. You start by signing up. You can start for free, and you will get 1,000 credits that you can start experimenting with. So here I would usually see my models and my projects. I don't have any, so I hit create a new project. So here is our first project. Let's say my project is to get insights from startup news. So that's my project. I will just rename it Startup News Insights. And here we should describe what the model should do. So it can be as detailed as you wish. And in fact, if you can be more details, you probably get better results. But for this example, I'm going to stay vague. Like, who has time for details? I will just say get insights from startup news. Let's see. Go to the next step. So here you can see that GPTpanda generated for you the inputs and outputs. So here what you see are the labels for the inputs. So imagine later you want to use the model later, or maybe you want to share it with someone. So if the end user need to know what to expect, need to know what type of input to enter and what output they will get. So here, these inputs and outputs were suggested automatically by GPTpanda. So you enter the article text, and then you get the startup name, funding, investor, sectors, year founded, whatever. You can add, you can delete and add different labels. But for me, I think I'm happy with this one. So we click the next step. So here, if you have training examples, so let's say you have a different style of getting the insights. Maybe you want to generate some summary in your specific way. So here, that will help very much if you have training examples. So you enter the text and then you enter the outputs and then you save the example. So the model learns later to do something very, very similar. So wait a little bit to see how you can generate amazing examples. You can also upload a CSV file if you have a lot of data that you want to upload. But that's for later. So now let's just keep it simple. We don't have examples. We go to the next step. And that's it. We're basically done. GPTpanda already generated for us 2 models. One is based on GPT 3.5, one is on 4, and the fine-tune model is not active simply because we didn't provide training examples. Like, you would need at least 20 training examples to fine-tune a model, but I'll show you how to do that. We have a very easy way to generate training examples. But let's first test these 2 models and see which one is performing better. So we have here the input label, which is article text. That's the input label we defined before. And here, all I have to do is just enter some article text, which I copied from TechCrunch about one startup. I'll hit test. Amazing. Now I have the results. So I have the results from both models. They both extracted the data that I required or requested. The data are quite similar, to be honest, between 2 models, which is not always the case. Like in some use cases, in some tasks, you can see a huge difference between GPT-4 and GPT 3.5. So it depends on your use case, but that's why you have GPTpanda, so you can compare. You can also compare the cost here. So here is 2 GPTpanda credits. Here is almost like 100. It's a huge difference. So in this case, like if I'm happy with the output, it's clear that I'm going to go with 3.5. However, let's say I'm not really happy. So what can I do? I can go to edit project, where I can add more details to the task, like the first step, or I can do even something better. I can use those outputs as the training examples. So if I hit here on save example, I have this input and output already entered for me. I can edit them. Like if I'm not happy with all the outputs, I can edit some, and I can save them as examples. And then I go back to the models, and then the new models will actually be implementing those examples that I saved. So here, very easily, I can just run a couple of tests and generate lots of examples. And maybe at some point, if you find yourself like, okay, like your examples are quite different, then maybe fine-tuning could be great. So then you'll be able to fine tune and then compare the three models, not only the prompt models, but also the fine tuned one. In this case, it's we'll keep it simple. Like it's super easy. It's super easy task. So I'm going to publish the 3.5 model. So here I can see my published models. I can edit them to edit any labels, add description, add name. I can share the link and I can test them. So that's the model that we trained, which is a Startup Insights model. And that's a dedicated page that you can share with others or you can use for yourself. And here again, all you need to do is enter the input. So I'm pasting here different article this time, and let's see how it works. Yeah, you see, again, different articles. We get also extraction. The user here can edit immediately, so they can edit if they are not happy with some results, and then they can copy it. Every single output can be edited, can be copied, and used somewhere else. And of course, they can share the link with others if they wish.